Ever seen a bad boy beg? You might, because the prosecution's opening act drops Monday, and their headliner claims Diddy treated consent like background noise. Curious how that plays with a jury?
Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years.
So then my assistant was like, you know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you.
He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue.
What made you come here to support Puff?
I'm supporting Puff because he's innocent, and I'm wholeheartedly believing his innocence, and I know he's innocent.
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent, and what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up, not just for himself, for his family, and for everybody who's been targeted by the federal government.
He's the Judas.
New York sunrise usually means lattes and leggings, but today the island got something spicier. Sean Diddy Combs limping up the courthouse steps, like the chaperone nobody invited. No velvet rope, no paparazzi-friendly grin, just a puffed-up face, graying goatee, and the kind of dead-behind-the-eyes stare you see on parents at PTA fundraisers when the bake sale cash box goes missing. Reporters shouted questions he pretended not to hear, shuffling past metal detectors that beeped louder than his old bad boy sampler. A year ago, he was spraying Cristal at Met Gala after parties. Now he's emptying pockets for a bailiff who'd rather be on lunch break. Inside, the hallway felt like the morning after an awards show, perfume of sweat, stale coffee, and fear. Diddy's legal entourage fanned out around him, trying to look confident while juggling boxes of exhibits thicker than old Source magazines. And let's be honest, every phone in that lobby was live streaming. Passers-by whispered, "Is that really him?" As if witnessing a fallen king sneaking through a side door. The only red carpet today? A faded rug with gum stains and an arrow pointing toward Courtroom 17B, his new stage where applause could morph into a life sentence. So yeah, Hollywood couldn't script this twist. The maestro of shiny suit swagger reduced to a creased suit suspect. And the punchline? The next 8 weeks decide whether he leaves in handcuffs or hustles home to remix another alibi. Stay with me because the indictment beats drop and they're nastier than any club remix you've ever heard. Let me tell you, these court papers read like the darkest liner notes ever pressed to vinyl. Prosecutors claim Diddy ran a 2-decade bad boy pipeline that funneled aspiring models, dancers, and wide-eyed party guests from glitzy rooftops straight into blackout hotel suites. The formula? Power plus party favors plus cameras. Everywhere equals leverage. According to the feds, if you wanted in on the entourage life, private jets, Paris fashion nights, and that bottomless Chirac cart, there was an unspoken cover charge: your silence. From Miami's Star Island mansions in the late 90s to Los Angeles Airbnb listening parties last summer, indictments map a coast-to-coast trail of closed-door sessions where drinks mysteriously tasted funny, phones vanished faster than mixtape CDs, and NDAs thicker than New Testament Bibles got shoved under bedroom doors at 4 a.m. One alleged survivor says she woke up mid-filming, surrounded by Diddy's security holding red lights like stagehands at a reality TV shoot. Another claims hush money arrived wrapped in a Goyard pouch. Classy, right? With a gentle reminder: your future depends on how quiet you keep the past. Prosecutors stitched it all together with text dumps, wire transfers tagged consultant fees, and hours of grainy footage yanked from a password-locked vault labeled afters. They say this wasn't sloppy party culture. It was a racketeering enterprise. Same legal sledgehammer used to smash the mafia. Only instead of protection money, the product was leverage over anyone who dared say no. Now, Diddy's defense calls it consensual swinger nights, and says the feds are moralizing millennials who just don't get celebrity kink. Sure, except kink usually involves safe words, not safe deposit boxes stuffed with hush contracts. The prosecution counters with bank statements, a pile of shredded NDA pieces scotch-taped back together, and one damning hotel hallway video the internet has seen on loop. Hang on, because if that video is Chapter 1, wait until you hear who's rumored to narrate Chapter 2. Next, let's get into jury selection. Trauma-laden questionnaires, and the Cassie bomb poised to drop right in the jury box. Stay tuned. Day 1 of jury selection felt less like civic duty and more like group therapy hosted by TMZ. Picture a fluorescent courtroom stuffed with New Yorkers clutching summonses like losing lottery tickets. The judge fires off screening questions and boom, 3 potential jurors admit they're survivors of assault. You could hear pens drop as defense lawyers exchanged were so screwed glances. They need 12 folks who can hit mute on their own scars and ignore every headline screaming Diddy the Predator. Good luck. Then comes the social media sweep. Bailiffs scroll TikTok feeds looking for hashtag Diddy trial hiding in drafts. One candidate got bounced for a 7-second meme of Diddy dancing in shackles, posted the night before. Another claimed, "I don't really follow pop culture," yet her Twitter bio read, "True crime junkie, free Britney, lock up predators, nice try ma'am, dismissed." The prosecution wants jurors who believe receipts. The defense wants amnesia on demand. Both sides keep burning peremptory strikes like club bottle service, expensive and gone in seconds. But here's the grenade everyone tiptoes around, the Cassie hotel video. Last week, the judge ruled it admissible for character context, which is courtroom speak for the jury can watch this and try not to puke. Defense attorneys begged to blur faces. The prosecution said nope. The raw cut tells the story. Rumor is they'll wheel in a giant screen, Kill Bill siren vibes, and roll the tape early, just to set the mood. If you're a juror with trauma history, that clip hits like a freight train. Can you still stay impartial after seeing it? That's the million-dollar question gnawing at both tables. And whisper alert, insiders swear Cassie is on the possible witness list. Imagine her walking in, locking eyes with Diddy, and telling that jury exactly what went down in that suite. If that happens, we're not just talking testimony. We're talking reality show finale with prison stakes. Hang on, because next, we dive into the witness lineup. The insiders, the bodyguards, and the one music exec who allegedly kept a black book of hush payments. Trust me, you'll want front row seats. Let's get into it. This witness list reads like the credits of a Scandal miniseries. Nobody at Bad Boy ever wanted greenlit. First up, Cassie Ventura, the R&B singer, former longtime partner, and walking time bomb. Prosecutors haven't confirmed her slot, but multiple leaks say she's been prepped, ready to break the courtroom sound barrier. If she steps up, expect a blow-by-blow of the infamous hotel night, plus receipts on those consent as a remix parties she allegedly escaped. Defense strategy? Paint her as a scorned ex with a new music drop. Problem: jurors usually side with the person who isn't facing 15 to life. Next, the invisible security crew. Bodyguards who once flanked Diddy like stylish bookends. 2 have already flipped for immunity. Word is they kept shift logs describing guest transport, code for escorting women from lobby to penthouse without ID checks. One guard reportedly texted a friend, "Bro feels wrong," on the same night prosecutors highlight as Exhibit A. The defense hopes jurors dismiss them as disgruntled ex-employees. The prosecution plans to project those texts, big and bold, across the courtroom screen. Then we've got DJ Icepick Rivera, yes, that's his actual stage name, a longtime Bad Boy tour spinner who claims he delivered party platters, pouches containing pills labeled with emoji stickers. He's testifying under the Federal Witness Security Program, which means sunglasses, hoodie, and probably a voice modulator that makes him sound like Darth Vader on decaf. If the jury buys his playlist of pill deliveries, that swinger culture defense melts faster than vinyl in a hot trunk. But the true crown jewel is Clive Shepard, former vice president of finance at Combs Enterprises. Insider chatter says Shepard kept a little black ledger, hush payments, wire transfers, plane bookings, the whole operation itemized like a tax spreadsheet. He quit last year citing moral fatigue, then slid that ledger to the feds in exchange for a lighter sentence on his own tax dodges. Defense lawyers will scream fabrication, yet Shepard's records align with hotel timestamps and flight logs down to the minute. Paper trails don't blush. They just burn reputations. Sprinkle in a couple of producers who witnessed after-party auditions, a housekeeper who found shredded NDAs in a bathroom bin, and a freelance videographer claiming he was paid double to erase footage. And you've got a witness lineup sharper than broken crystal glass. Every testimony is a potential dagger. String enough together and the narrative becomes harder for jurors to unsee than that Cassie video. Hang on, because we are zooming in on Diddy's defense playbook. Sealed motions, surprise experts, and the rumored consent contract he thinks will save him. Spoiler, paper might not stand up to cross-examination. Diddy's legal squad isn't strolling in blind. They've packed a suitcase of procedural fireworks they hope will dazzle jurors into reasonable doubt. First on deck, sealed motion number 14, nicknamed Operation Mute Button. Insiders say it argues the Cassie hotel footage violates privacy laws because the room door was technically ajar, not fully open. Translation, they'll claim the camera angle equals illegal peeping, so the whole tape should vanish like a bad remix sample the label never cleared. The judge hasn't ruled yet, but prosecutors are already counterfiling with that timeless argument. If you record it yourself, tough luck. Next grenade is the consent contract. Defense lawyers plan to waive a multi-page document, allegedly signed by several accusers, spelling out party rules, confidentiality, and, yes, check boxes for intimate activities. They'll parade a handwriting expert who swears the signatures are legit. The prosecution will retort that booze, pills, and power imbalance turn any consent into coercion. Expect a battle of experts. One neuropsychologist explaining trauma memory, another toxicologist testifying how blackouts erase the ability to sign anything knowingly. Then there's chain of custody chaos. The defense wants to poke holes in every barcode, every evidence bag, every timestamp. They hired a former FBI analyst turned courtroom audit ninja to pick whether item 12C, the so-called hush money Goyard pouch, passed through too many hands. If she convinces jurors that evidence changed pockets, like loose change, those damning ledgers suddenly look less solid. And don't forget Surprise Expert X, a celebrity lifestyle consultant, ready to testify that high-profile parties operate under different social norms. Basically, fame culture is weird. Don't judge the rich by suburban standards. The prosecution will likely slice that claim to ribbons with a simple line: basic human rights don't expire in a penthouse. Finally, watch for the ambush recess. Rumor says Diddy's team has a stash of last-minute affidavits from ex-partners who will swear everything was consensual bliss. They'll time the drop for when the prosecution rests. Classic bait to reset juror mood. But if cross-examination exposes even one payoff or backroom favor, that tactic backfires faster than a champagne cork in a limo. Bottom line, the defense is banking on confusion, turning the trial into a paperwork maze where jurors can't see the forest for the affidavits. Whether those procedural grenades explode or fizzle depends on how sharp the prosecution's rebuttals land. Stick around as we investigate the trial calendar, public frenzy, and how July 4th fireworks might collide with courtroom pyrotechnics. You don't want to miss it. Mark your planners, Gossip Fam. This isn't a quick headline, it's a whole season arc. Opening statements lock in for May 12th, and legal junkies are already dubbing it Bad Boy Day. Court breaks for Memorial Day? Not a chance. Judge Kaplan wants momentum, so jurors will be munching deli sandwiches while attorneys spar over evidentiary sidebars. By week 3, around May 30th, expect the prosecution's shock and awe montage, CCTV clips, flight logs, the hush money ledger, and, if the sealed motion gods allow, the Cassie tape on a 4K screen the size of a dorm wall. Social feeds will explode. TikTok lawyers will rehearse hot takes and ring lights before the afternoon recess even ends. Mid-June brings the defense carousel, procedural grenades, consent contracts, and that lifestyle expert who will swear penthouse parties are just misunderstood yoga retreats outside a split-screen circus, one side chanting "Believe survivors," the other waving "innocent until Spotify cancels him." Etsy shops are already pre-selling free Diddy and lock 'em up tees. The merch wars are as heated as the testimony. But here's the plot twist everyone's eyeing: July 4th. If timelines slip just a week, and trust me, cross-examinations love to chew up calendars, the jury could be deliberating while fireworks boom over the Hudson. Imagine it. America celebrates independence while a hip-hop empire hangs on 12 strangers' independence of mind. Prosecutors drool at that symbolism. Defense lawyers dread it like a surprise album leak. Media outlets have staked sidewalk real estate like camping Comic-Con fans. CNN parked a satellite truck so early it got a parking ticket. BuzzFeed rented the cafe across the street for Live Blog HQ. And TMZ flew in a drone they swear is for scenic B-roll. Even Wall Street types are sneaking out on lunch to snap courthouse selfies. Nothing moves stocks like a mogul's downfall. Public sentiment? A recent Insta poll, take it with sea salt, shows 68% think Diddy's guilty, 14% undecided, and 18% haven't recovered from the 2000 Versace suit, so they're rooting for nostalgia. Jurors are sequestered from that noise, but come on, they're human. They know the world is refreshing. Diddy trial more than the weather app? And just when you think the calendar's set, rumors swirl of behind-the-scenes plea whispers if key testimony lands too hard. Will Diddy gamble on a mid-trial deal or ride the verdict roulette? That cliffhanger rockets us into verdict scenarios, possible sentencing day drama, and what happens to the bad boy empire if its founder swaps yachts for yard time. Don't touch that scroll bar. Picture the jury stalling, unable to sync on the beat. So Judge Kaplan calls a mistrial. Diddy moonwalks out on bail while prosecutors vow a fiery reboot. Online, the hashtag war erupts. Market watchers predict a quick Combs stock rebound, but survivors' advocates promise louder protests for round 2. Now imagine the panel locks in guilty on racketeering, but not sex trafficking. That slams a minimum 15-year base drop. Judge Kaplan's known to add sting. So 20+ with fines is the smart money. Streaming services might shadow ban his catalog faster than you can say royalty recoup. leaving artists scrambling to reclaim masters while Revolt TV execs issue distancing statements before brunch. If the gavel falls on guilty for every charge, the playlist ends with life. No parole until jurors are grandparents. Diddy swaps VIP selfies for a mugshot glint and likely lands in a medium-high celebrity protective wing. 8x10 cell, no mow it. Rec time squeezed between lunch meat and lockdown. Hip-hop historians will file him alongside R. Kelly and Suge Knight under cautionary tales. Civil suits flood in like encore requests, and ex-associates rush memoirs titled, I Survived the Shiny Suit Era. But there's still a universe where he walks free. An acquittal would trigger confetti cannons, and a redemption tour on every talk show that'll book him. MSNBC analysts groan, Fox News cheers, cancel culture defeated, and Spotify front pages a comeback single. Yet reputations heal slower than court calendars. Brands may still ghost him, and future deals will arrive wearing body cam lawyers. Regardless of the verdict, the bad boy empire faces a reckoning. Asset freezes could starve subsidiary labels, charity foundations might stall, and that rumored billion-dollar liquor sale could evaporate. Protégés mid-comeback will either flee or craft emotional open letters faster than bloggers can screenshot them. Sentencing day theater promises chance of take that on courthouse steps, survivor impact statements sharp enough to etch marble, and paparazzi elbowing relatives for reaction shots. A single tear from Diddy, real or rehearsed, will set meme culture ablaze. Whatever anthem plays, victory or funeral dirge, the echoes will ripple through music, media, and every velvet rope lounge that once begged for a Combs cameo. So here we are, perched on the edge of verdict history. Whether Diddy walks out lighting victory cigars or trades them for commissary instant coffee, one truth stands taller than his 1999 platinum plaques. Celebrity clout no longer guarantees immunity. From Weinstein to R. Kelly and now Combs, courtroom spotlights are scorching the idea that power plus popularity equals a get-out-of-jail-free card. The message to every megastar who's ever thought NDA equals no consequences. The receipts are coming, and so is a jury that doesn't care how many chart toppers you have. If jurors lock in guilty, music lawyers will scramble to add new morality clauses. Thicker than 360 deals, clubs will vet guest lists like TSA checkpoints, and publicists will stock crisis kits right next to spare phone chargers. Even an acquittal sets a precedent, because the accusations alone have already cost Diddy brand deals, radio rotation, and a slice of cultural cachet he may never fully reclaim. The courtroom turned into a mirror, and the reflection isn't just his. It's a warning to any industry titan who's forgotten the basic concept of, consent. Now, if you've sweated through this 8-week marathon with me, refreshing feeds, dodging spoiler tweets, clutching popcorn like a stress ball, don't tap out now. The post-trial aftershocks will shake contracts, courtrooms, and comment sections for months. I'll be right here sorting facts from PR spin, side-eyeing every exclusive source, and serving the tea before it cools. So smash that subscribe button, ring the bell so loud you scare your upstairs neighbors, and drop your verdict prediction in the comments. Prison playlist or redemption remix, best hot take gets a shout-out in the next scoop. I'm Sienna, signing NDAs only after reading the fine print, side-eyeing the rich and restless, and reminding you, fame fades, receipts don't. Stay tuned and stay skeptical.